Jaguar Wright has never been scared of chaos as she owns it. But this time, she didn't just stir the pot, she flipped the whole table and set it on fire. When Jaguar speaks, people usually hold their breath, waiting for the storm to pass. But when she starts dropping names, that's when Hollywood goes silent. And this time, the name she threw into the flames was none other than Keith Urban. She didn't drop hints or dance around it. She went straight for the jugular, claiming the country superstar didn't just have a backstage fling. She says he fathered a secret child with his 25-year-old guitarist Maggie Ball.
We have got to get to what seems like the week's biggest celebrity story. What seems like a sudden breakup between Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, married for 19 years.
That's right. Jaguar says this wasn't just a tour crush, it was a full-on hidden affair wrapped in legal threats, hush money, and even what she called medical fakery to hide the truth. Jaguar, who claimed she'd been sitting on this verified mess for months, dropped it all during a 3 a.m. live stream that shook the internet. This ain't gossip, she said. This is the secret they buried 6 feet under and forgot I had a shovel. The internet went wild. Comments, clips, theories, everyone digging for proof like digital detectives. Every hour since, new pieces of the puzzle have surfaced, each one messier than the last. It all traces back to September 25th in Chicago. Keith Urban was on stage for what should have been another night of his High and Alive tour when something changed. He was performing The Fighter, his famous love song to Nicole Kidman. But this time, his lyrics told a different story. Instead of singing "When they're trying to get to you, baby, I'll be the fighter," he looked directly at Maggie Ball and sang, "When they're trying to get to you, Maggie, I'll be your guitar player." At first, the crowd didn't notice, but cameras did. And Maggie, she made sure the world saw it. She reposted the clip on her Instagram with the caption, "Did he just say that?" followed by 2 emojis, one peeking from behind its hands and another with an exploding brain. Talk about setting off alarms.
Had a really rough relationship, and that's why I'm curious about the clause in the contract. Nicole knew very, very early on that Keith had demons.
So that move wasn't just impulsive.
People inside Nashville's music circles are now whispering that this wasn't just a slip, it was strategic. One insider told us she knew exactly what that clip would do. It was dangerous, but brilliant. The moment Maggie hit post, the rumors turned into a full-blown narrative, and the fallout was instant. Nicole Kidman, who sources say had been holding the marriage together for years, reportedly reached her breaking point. Just 3 days later, on September 28th, she filed for divorce, and it wasn't friendly. The documents allegedly demanded primary custody of their daughters with a 306-day arrangement in her favor. This wasn't just another celebrity scandal, it's turning into a Hollywood meltdown in real time. That oddly specific custody figure had legal experts buzzing. It screamed strategy. Many said it looked like Nicole was preparing for a long, ugly custody war and wanted to make sure her daughters' lives stayed stable no matter how bad things got. In the hours after the divorce papers hit, something strange happened. The Chicago concert footage suddenly vanished. Every clip, every fan video, gone in a flash. Copyright strikes, takedowns, silent cleanups, call it what you want, but the purge was fast and ruthless. Still, this is the internet. And once something's online, it never truly disappears. Fans started reposting grainy screen recordings, blurry but unmistakable proof of that shocking lyric change. And soon a new storyline took shape. While Keith was singing to his bandmate with words meant for his wife, Nicole was allegedly signing the papers to end their 19-year marriage. Talk about dramatic timing. That one moment might have cost him love, loyalty, and millions. Then came the twist no one saw coming, Maggie Baugh's single. On October 10th, she dropped Devil Win, a haunting, emotional track that hit way too close to home. Lines like, "I don't know how to heal my soul," and "no matter how close I get to the burning edge, I won't let the devil win," sounded less like lyrics and more like a confession. The industry went nuts. Critics called it a musical diary. while fans claimed it was proof of everything Jaguar had said. The timing, the title, the tone, it was all too perfect to be coincidence.
Reports put Nicole's worth at $250 million. Reports put Keith's worth at approximately $75 million. So tremendous disparity. However, she's the actress and he's the musician. So she takes the back seat at the Grammys and was always the supportive one. And then he takes the back seat for the SAG Awards or the Oscars or what have you.
But the chaos didn't stop with Nicole's filing or Maggie's music. By mid-October, Keith Urban was making moves that had everyone whispering. Sources confirmed he fired his entire touring band, the same loyal musicians who'd backed him for over 20 years. Not a few replacements, a clean sweep. One Nashville music director told us, that's not just restructuring, that's erasing your old self. Around that same time, Keith quietly packed up and left his lavish family mansion. Witnesses spotted him moving boxes into a modest rental on the quieter side of town. No public statement, no PR spin, just a U-Haul and a new address. Industry insiders started calling it a full-blown unraveling. And suddenly, Jaguar Wright's claims didn't sound so far-fetched. According to Jaguar, that lyric change on stage wasn't just an emotional slip. It was intentional, a soft reveal of something much deeper. She insists Nicole Kidman wasn't reacting to just another tabloid rumor. Nicole allegedly had reason to believe Keith was hiding money, quiet payments, and even proof of a secret child. A source close to Nicole's inner circle summed it up perfectly. She didn't file because of a fling. She filed because she believed something real was being hidden from her. And that changes everything. Jaguar Wright didn't just hint at chaos this time. She dropped a bomb that could change everything. According to her, that something permanent everyone's whispering about is no rumor at all. It's a child. She claims the baby was born in early 2024 and hidden behind a wall of legal threats, NDAs, and quiet, off-record deals. Jaguar even said she saw part of a financial ledger showing regular payments sent to an account allegedly tied to Maggie Baugh's management team. Now, no one's officially confirmed that document exists, but at least 2 entertainment reporters have said they've heard the same story, and that's when the money talk starts to get real.
Although I am surprised, I think these two seemed a really steady couple. 19 years in Hollywood is a million years, and so I think we were surprised. However, people that have been in the know, people that have been the boots on the ground, they're not as surprised by this. They had a really, really messy start within months of their marriage. He was in rehab, they've admitted this. So they were married a few months and he went to the Betty Ford Clinic and disappeared.
Yeah.
Keith's old prenup with Nicole, signed way back in 2006, has what insiders dramatically call the white powder clause. It's basically a sobriety bonus paying him $900,000 a year for staying clean and stable. That's nearly $17 million total. But here's the twist. If his actions are considered destructive, deceptive, or linked to any instability, legal experts say that payout could go poof. Nicole's legal team hasn't said a word publicly, but people close to the case believe her filings hint at a direct challenge to that clause. And if Jaguar's hush money claims turn out to be true, that could give Nicole's side all the leverage they need. This isn't just divorce drama anymore. It's turning into a financial battlefield.
And the headlines in the media are all over the place. And you know how it is in these celebrity feuds, especially when it comes to divorce. We always have to find the bad guy. And everyone's desperately trying to find out who's to blame.
So what about Maggie Ball? Well, as of late October, she's gone completely silent. No posts, no stories, no updates, just radio silence. Fans noticed she skipped Keith's Hershey, Pennsylvania concert on October 2nd, and there's still no official reason why, but her single Devil Wind keeps climbing the charts, maybe thanks to the scandal itself. A Nashville publicist who's worked with both up-and-comers and industry icons said it best. She's walking a tightrope. Fans love Nicole. If they think Maggie wrecked that marriage and cashed in on it, she's done. But if she plays it smart, this could make her career blow up. Still, fame isn't the only thing on the line. This could get legal. There are whispers all over Nashville that Nicole's attorneys have started forensic audits into Keith's financials. They're reportedly digging through payments, leases, reimbursements, anything that looks suspicious. One insider close to the situation didn't mince words, saying, "If there's a baby, there's a paper trail." Even Keith's quiet move into that new rental home has become part of the investigation. Public records show the property is registered under a holding company connected to his tour accountant, a setup usually used to hide residency from the public. But here's where it gets even juicier. Neighbors claim they've seen a young woman, possibly Maggie herself, entering and leaving the house. If that's true, then this story isn't just about rumors anymore. It's about secrets that might finally be cracking wide open. That sighting of Maggie at Keith's rental home happened several times in early September. Before the Chicago concert, before the lyric change, and even before Nicole filed for divorce. Coincidence? Maybe, but it fits perfectly into Jaguar Wright's story. And that's all it takes for the internet to catch fire again.
So I got on the phone with some of my Australian sources, and nobody else was surprised. I was surprised. I think the fans are surprised. The public at large is surprised, especially because they're so ubiquitous. I mean, they are really everywhere all the time. But they have not been living together for months, apparently.
Adding more fuel to the mystery is the alleged suppression of footage from a private Nashville songwriting retreat held in late 2023. According to Jaguar, that retreat is where things between Keith and Maggie crossed the line. She even claims the pair recorded a song called Back Roads and Lies, a track so personal it never saw the light of day. It doesn't show up in any ASCAP or BMI databases, but fans haven't stopped digging through Maggie's old tour clips, looking for any hidden lyric or clue that could prove it's real. Meanwhile, Nicole Kidman's been playing her public role like a pro. She's been photographed smiling again, hitting Paris Fashion Week with her daughters, dazzling in Chanel, and stepping right back into her ambassador duties. But behind the polished red carpet looks, sources close to her say she's gearing up for war. One insider spilled, Nicole's not playing checkers, she's playing chess. If Keith made Maggie a mother, Nicole's gonna make him pay like one. That line alone sent shockwaves through the industry. But we're still not at the end of this tangled story. It's not even close. If Keith really risked his 19-year marriage, his spotless reputation, and a $17 million sobriety clause for a younger flame, then people are asking the obvious. What else did he risk to keep it quiet? And just how many people got paid, pushed, or promised something to bury the truth? Because now, all eyes are on the money trail. Right after that infamous Chicago show, Maggie's streaming numbers didn't just rise.
So I'm going to speak to a little bit about a particular view I get of Nick for a long time now. But I'll start with the fact that we met in January 2005. We were being honored at this event called G'day LA, which sounds a bit like a pickup line from Crocodile Dundee.
They tripled overnight. One day she was a niche country act with a loyal TikTok fan base, and the next she was the talk of every label office in Nashville. Her name started floating around as the next scandal-born superstar. Then came the grand ole Opry debut, December 16th, 2024, a career milestone most country artists wait years for. But Maggie, she got it months after going viral. Insiders whispered that her invitation came with an invisible asterisk. Two major radio executives even claimed the slot was pushed through back channels by a high-powered donor. No public sponsor, no promo deal, nothing on paper, just one internal line item listing private benefactor funding. And the name that kept popping up in those whispered conversations, someone deeply connected to Keith Urban's financial network.
So now, as far as I understand, he's the one that wanted out, and she was kind of gaslighted by it all. Is that the way you see it too, or understand this, that he was the one who actually, and she was a bit surprised by it, or?
That's what all the reports are saying that are coming out now. So of course, as soon as I heard this news, I was like, okay, first Hugh Jackman and now Nicole Kidman.
And that's when Jaguar dropped her next bombshell. She claimed the funding didn't come straight from Keith. It came from a ghost label, an inactive imprint supposedly reactivated just long enough to move money around quietly. Jaguar says one of Keith's former tour accountants noticed unusual transfers leaving that label, heading to a shell company tied directly to Maggie's manager. Payments went out like clockwork every month, disguised as consulting expenses. Then suddenly, those payments stopped cold. And guess when? The same week Nicole Kidman filed for divorce. That kind of timing isn't random. It's surgical. Now, multiple insiders believe those transfers were part of an under-the-table hush arrangement. Steady payouts meant to keep lips sealed while the legal storm gathered. And that abrupt cutoff, it reeks of panic. One former Universal Nashville staffer didn't hold back, saying, "You don't stop regular payments unless somebody's yanking the cord fast." So if Jaguar's telling even half the truth, the cover-up might be collapsing from the inside. And the truth? It's coming faster than anyone expected. The timing of those payments ending right when Nicole filed for divorce, that's not a coincidence. That's the sound of legal fallout. Everything started unraveling, and the property side of the mess only made things uglier. Nicole's divorce petition didn't just demand primary custody of their daughters for 306 days a year. It also showed she was coming for the couple's 20-year Nashville estate, a $4 million mansion they'd shared since their early days together. But here's the twist. Keith wasn't even living there anymore. He had already moved out months before. Documents show he quietly leased another property under a holding company name, keeping everything under wraps. And thanks to those court filings, we now know the exact timeline. He started that lease right after wrapping his European tour last summer, the same period insiders say Maggie started joining him on select international travel dates. You can't make this stuff up.
This shocked, I think, a lot of people earlier in the week. So we did a story that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, after almost 20 years of marriage, they would have celebrated their 20th anniversary in 2026, that they had separated, but that we were told Nicole really still wanted to try and make the marriage work.
All of this feeds into what's now shaping up to be a full-blown legal showdown. That 2006 prenup, the one supposed to guarantee Keith nearly $17 million across his marriage, was built around one condition: documented sobriety. But now Nicole's lawyers are putting him under the microscope, digging into everything. Sources close to the case claim they're not just investigating possible cheating, they're looking into his spending patterns, potential instability, and whether he was secretly funding something behind her back. If they can prove recklessness, deception, or any violation of that sobriety clause, it could void the entire prenup. That means no payout, no mansion, no safety net, nothing. Keith could lose it all. But as explosive as all that sounds, none of it compares to what Jaguar Wright dropped next. Because when she went live again, she didn't tease or imply. She said it straight up. There's a baby, and he knows it. The internet went into absolute meltdown mode. According to Jaguar, the child was born in Tennessee sometime last year. And while she refused to name the mother directly, her description left fans with no doubt. She described her as a woman with calloused fingers and a studio tank, a line that people instantly linked to Maggie Baugh's signature musician look. Jaguar went further, claiming the birth records had been tampered with, the paternity section left blank, and the baby's last name changed to one familiar to everyone in the room.
So, I'm doing that more. And I say that to other people in the world, yes, and particularly women, I think. We tend not to take care of ourselves. We'll take care of everybody else, but the last person is.
She alleged that a private clinic in Nashville was paid off to alter the documentation, and that hush money was involved to keep the baby's existence out of the public eye. Then she described the child. Blonde curls, blue eyes, and a last name that doesn't match the mother. It was eerie, specific, and sent the rumor mill spinning out of control. Jaguar even claimed she had hospital receipts as proof, though she hasn't released any paperwork yet. Still, the internet didn't need much to lose its mind. And just 2 days after her live stream, Maggie posted, then quickly deleted, a photo of a tiny toddler shoe sitting on a studio speaker. No caption, no context, nothing. Fans screenshotted it before it disappeared within minutes, and theories exploded across TikTok and Reddit. Industry insiders reacted instantly, and not kindly. Reports say Maggie's been forced to sign 2 separate NDAs since Nicole's divorce went public. One allegedly tied to a label contract renegotiation, and another linked to a sponsorship deal that collapsed once the scandal gained traction. Sources say execs are leaning on her hard, scrubbing personal references from her promo materials and trying to rewrite her image before things spiral even further. But behind the scenes, this isn't just about image control. It's turning into a psychological war. Keith Urban, by all accounts, isn't handling the pressure well. Multiple insiders claim his behavior has become erratic. Firing his entire 25-year touring band was only the beginning. He's canceled recording sessions, pulled out of public appearances, and reportedly goes off the radar for hours at a time. Sources close to his camp say he's been snapping at longtime staff, missing rehearsals, and isolating himself completely. One insider put it bluntly, he's unraveling, and everyone around him knows it. If Jaguar's claims hold even a shred of truth, then what we're watching might not just be the end of a marriage. It could be the public collapse of one of country music's biggest stars. One of Keith's former road crew members summed it up perfectly. He's not the guy we knew. It's 2006 all over again.
When I formulated a hypothesis about famous people who marry famous people, and that the only way it can work is if one of them is willing to be the less famous. You cannot have two egos coexisting at the same time.
And for those who remember that year, the echo is chilling. Just 4 months after marrying Nicole, Keith had one of the darkest chapters of his life, a relapse that sent everything spiraling. He checked into rehab in California after what insiders described as a self-destructive bender, one so bad that Nicole had to stage a full-blown intervention. According to Keith's own past interviews, Nicole flew in from Rome, gathered his closest friends, and literally cornered him with an ultimatum that read like a movie script. Keith admitted he thought she was going to leave him, but she didn't. She stayed. She fought for him. And while they moved forward, those old wounds never really healed. So watching his behavior now, the isolation, the paranoia, the chaos, it's giving deja vu to everyone who was there back then. But just when you think this saga couldn't get more tangled, it drags someone completely outside the triangle into the mess. Maggie's ex-boyfriend, Cameron Coley. The two had been together for over a year, living in a sleek Nashville apartment through most of 2024. But when the scandal exploded, Cameron vanished. Neighbors said he packed up and left overnight. No explanation, no goodbye, just gone. And according to Jaguar Wright, that disappearance wasn't heartbreak, it was hush money. She claims to have screenshots of a $20,000 Venmo transfer from an untraceable account, labeled simply as consulting. When someone asked Jaguar what kind of consulting Cameron was doing, she grinned and said, the kind that buys silence before the tabloids start asking questions. Now, we haven't been able to verify the payment itself, but what we can confirm is that Cameron's social media has been wiped clean. No photos, no tags, no trace of Maggie anywhere. He's refused all interview requests, and insiders say he's been laying low ever since. Meanwhile, Maggie's been spotted living alone in a quiet rental property just outside Nashville, one reportedly used for temporary housing by touring musicians. So yeah, the dots keep connecting themselves.
I have to say, her choice in movies, it's always like she has these young lovers, and I'm thinking like, what does that feel like for Keith? Always watching himself in those kind of scenes.
Yeah,
you know,
he notoriously just ended an interview recently because he was asked about that very issue with her having love scenes with Zac Efron,
And that brings us to the real question. What is this really? Was this just a messy moment of passion that spiraled into a silent disaster? Or is this the final act of a long-running deception, finally cracking under the weight of its own lies? Could Jaguar Wright's next leak be the one that finally drops names, dates, and receipts that blow the lid off this entire scandal? Tell us what you think in the comments. Are we watching a career collapse in real time? Or is this all a carefully planned distraction hiding something even bigger? Either way, keep your eyes open and your tea hot, because this story is far from over. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts below. And we'll see you on the next one, because this Hollywood storm is only just beginning.